You can always refi, or maybe you can't, on this episode of Major Money Matters. Welcome to Major Money Matters. My name is Major. I'm the host of Major Money Matters. I'm also a mortgage broker powered by Edge Home Finance. And I want to lay out, what's going to come in the next year, potentially year and a half. People are closing homes right now, and interest rates are a bit higher right now. And mostly everyone is anticipating some sort of refinance in the future. And everybody is saying you can always refinance. But there's going to be people who are not going to be able to refinance. I'm going to share with you why and some current concerns that I'm seeing with the market right now. Okay, so right now we're still seeing the effects of inflation. Now, interest rates are up. Not just interest rates are up, prices are up. And consumers are the last people to adjust their expectations and their buying habits based on prices and inflation. What they don't do is they don't cut back their spending, and they instead put their spending on HELOCs and on credit cards and on things like that, and they don't reduce their spending. So if we do end up going into a recession, I want to talk about some things that could happen and some concerns that I have why you may not be able to refinance when the time comes and those interest rates drop. Number one is your debt to income ratio. Most people keep their debt low, while they're in the buying phase, and they're waiting until they're closing their home, and then they go buy stuff. And then their DTI shoots up, and your DTI is going to exceed what the qualification standards are for that particular refinance that you're doing. And your DTI is so high, debt to income ratio, DTI, is so high that you cannot do a refinance, and you're going to be stuck in that rate for that mortgage. So please keep your spending under control while you're in this phase of waiting on rates to come down. I know you're like, hey, Major, my spending was under control until I bought the house. Now you want me to keep my spending under control until I can refinance. Yes, this is going to be so important in the future. You got to keep your DTI under control. Number two, related to DTI, credit card debt. Listen, people are putting so much debt on credit cards right now. Our credit card debt nationally is at an all-time high. And for you as an individual, if your credit card debt is so high, again, that it pushes your DTI so high, you're going to have a problem refinancing because you are simply going to have too much debt. I will tell you, it is extremely easy to put $500, $5,000, $10,000 on a credit card without thinking about it. So you got to keep your credit card debt under control so that when it's time to refinance, you don't have the challenges of credit card debt combined with a mortgage and a refinance. It's kind of, in many ways, it's not totally like doing a purchase again, but in many ways, it is making sure your credit cards are at a level where we can qualify you on a mortgage refinance. Number three, listen, there are multiple reports right now where people are making late payments on their credit cards. If you're in a position where you have to make a late payment on something, please do not make a late payment on your mortgage. If you have mortgage lates, it's going to be very difficult for you to actually qualify and do a refinance on a mortgage. Listen, this is something that is absolutely essential, okay? When you're paying your mortgage, you got a 15-day grace period till you get hit with a late fee, and then another 15 days till you go over 30 days late. Please do not go over 30 days late because it will impact you. When you can refinance and save money, if you've had a mortgage late, you might have some challenges actually refinancing into a lower interest rate. Number four, the big one I'm seeing, okay, if we go into recession means job loss. And if you go into a job loss when you're doing a refinance, most times we do have to actually validate that you have a job and you have a source of income. So if you lose a job, okay, you're going to be in a situation where you may not be able to refinance. What can you do about that right now? Really nothing, because if your job lays you off, your job lays you off, okay? So what am I saying? I'm saying, although you are expecting to refinance, make sure your interest rate and your monthly payment is at a point where if you don't refinance, you can still maintain that monthly payment. Look, We're in a challenging period, and we're going to continue to be in a challenging period for the next year, 2 years, when we don't know what's happening with the economy. We don't know what's going on with interest rates. I do want you to be aware that you need to be concerned and have visibility on these 4 things while we're in this period of you buying a house and you getting to a point where you potentially are refinancing into a rate where you're going to be in that rate for a more longer term period. So that's it for this time. Everyone says you can refinance, but I need you to keep track of your finances and keep your finances in a place where you're not putting yourself in a bad situation later on where you can't refinance when rates drop down to the 6s, 5s, potentially 4s. We don't know. Talk to you soon. See you next time on Major Money Matters.